Some people argue Microsoft made a 180 turn since 2014 under CEO Nadella. The company, everything changed positively, they claim. Let me tell you just a few things you should know under CEO Mr. Satya Nadella. 1. Microsoft is allowed to block users from accessing their Xbox services, for example by changing configurations via software uploads, up to their sole discretion. 2. Microsoft can delete specific user content without prior notice, up to their sole discretion. 3. Microsoft can terminate your account without prior notice, including but not limited to what they consider offensive language, up to their sole discretion. You may lose all your games, all your software, Game Pass, etc. that are saved under that account in the process. 4. Microsoft may remotely disable software you've got on your device that you are not licensed to use, up to their sole discretion. 5. If you're a United States user, you waive your right to sue Microsoft in court, including the right to file a class action suit. There are more questionable things in Microsoft's Xbox Terms of Service Agreement. We might be looking into that another time, as well as at some of the points I will mention in a bit. Keep in mind there is always context to each point, which is why more detailed explanation is usually required to understand their terms of service and political, legal, business speak better. One of the big reasons Minecraft Java Edition has to migrate to Microsoft accounts is to have you submit to those terms and to get you as a collective trapped into their system. Microsoft is known to be a notorious repeat offender in that regard. Player safety, two-factor authentication? No. The reasons for player safety, censoring, logging, telemetry, etc., as well as two-factor authentication are not solely, but majorly business-driven. As I and some of my friends don't want to submit to their terms and get a grasp of their future plans is one of the reasons why I didn't migrate any of my 20-something Minecraft Java Edition accounts. Let's move on to the claims. You can entrust your data to Microsoft, and Microsoft changed completely since 2014 under CEO Satya Nadella. 6. There have been too many concerning security breaches, even exposing the real names of Xbox users. 7. In 2019, Microsoft silently, and at that time probably only due to emerging criticism, took one of its databases offline, a database with at least 10 million photos of about 100,000 faces as far as I know. Photos gathered and used without consent, used to train worldwide military, I repeat, worldwide military, and of course also commercial facial recognition software. Not solely celebrities' photos, where they might have thought they could do them legally as they please, but also including pictures of Microsoft critics, people who are part of, for example, digital rights groups, so no celebrities in that sense. 8. In 2020, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft were sued for using people's photos to train their facial recognition technologies without obtaining the subject's permission. Microsoft teamed up with its competitor and adversary Amazon to defend against those facial recognition lawsuits. Of course, if it's about abusing user data and intrusion to user privacy, big tech can be quite sociable amongst each other. For example, also 9. In 2019, there was a secret teaming up meeting of 4 of the 5 big tech, minus Apple, including Microsoft, to forestall consumer privacy efforts, to freeze e-privacy so they can continue to exploit more user data than especially Europe wants them to. Of course, not only Google worked and works more or less covertly to stall not only European Union privacy legislation. More about that maybe someone it's concerning. 10. Microsoft abused consumer trust by not disclosing that audio, for example via Skype and Cortana, was not only recorded but was also reviewed by humans, not solely AI, which is, in my opinion, bad enough. 11. November 2021, Microsoft's annual shareholder meeting. Microsoft's shareholders have, with 78%, backed calling on Microsoft to reveal more about its handling of sexual harassment and gender discrimination claims. Finally, after years of complaints from some workers that Microsoft had brushed pervasive claims of harassment under the carpet. The shareholders' decision was a sensation, by the way, but there were 4 more shareholder proposals. We might get to that another time. Quite recently, in January this year, 2022, Microsoft urged a Californian federal court to drop a privacy claim brought in a lawsuit over the alleged sharing of customer data with third parties, for example with Facebook Meta. Microsoft allegedly scanned the emails of their customers without their knowledge nor consent and shared their data without their knowledge nor consent. We'll see if Microsoft will talk their way out of that one. Again, it's not the first time similar allegations have been made, also regarding other Microsoft products, not only email. I have to emphasize that this is not proven yet. It isn't that unlikely that Microsoft will be able to have this case dropped, as such claims are not very easy to prove. I've got first-hand real-life experience with a worldwide operating data collecting company offering specific hard and software for internet or server-specific scanning, recording and censoring, blocking, etc. Hence, I got some intel what is possible even outside of real espionage intelligence agencies, not only for governments but also companies. That's possible since many years, and hence I also know what has been and is done without people's consent, no matter what you read in any terms of service or the likes. Be careful, respect your privacy. Yeah, no. Many different types of personal data are collected and combined by Microsoft, also by buying third-party data about you. Some of it is mentioned in their terms. I can't even start to list all of it. I didn't want to make this a 500 things you should know about Microsoft video. A look on Microsoft's actions since decades in China would also deserve attention, even if China tries more and more to lock out non-China companies, but Microsoft's actions there just confirm their true motivation. Attention deserve also so many things more. If at some point your Microsoft Xbox account got or gets locked, so it had or has to be unlocked again, please contact me privately. You can do so on, for example, Reddit, Twitter, Instagram. Thank you very much in advance. Trust Microsoft. Personal opinion. Personally, I don't trust Microsoft that my data will be safe, unhackable, and especially also not safe from Microsoft itself, as it's partially well known what Microsoft does with all our data. You've heard a few today in this video. But what about the unknown actions and plans regarding your data that have yet to be unearthed? That's no fear-mongering nor paranoia. After listing the prior incidents, things Microsoft did without user consent, I got good reasons, and also because I see where Microsoft seems to be headed to, what their plans are and what they might be. More about that and details why I don't trust Microsoft in future videos. It's a lot of information to condense and logically split, a lot of work, so stay tuned. Take care. Bye bye.